Phixeleaux's first weakness would be that she's too much of a people pleaser. She cares too much for Pale in the sense that she doesn't want her to think that uh, she doesn't want Pale to think that there is something that she has to do for herself in order to get to her. She would rather break that barrier and already get to Pale anyways and make the most of the things for her and still provide for herself if possible. But she should really be doing that as a priority of once in a while, if not all the time. She should prioritizing her own needs over her Pale's if she has to. And then another thing is that she's also afraid to break the mold by really being just as unique as Pale, because she knows how to be as unique as Pale, if not more unique than Pale. But she often sells herself short on that regard. There's one positive in the midst of those two weaknesses. One strength is that Phixeleaux is very cunning. I describe this as being different from intelligent because cunning is more like not street smart, but like more like she's able to use her. They say that knowledge is just the attainment of information. Wisdom is the application of it. I wouldn't say in that regard completely. That's a little sells it still sells it a little too short because people are always saying power corrupts, but wisdom never. Knowledge is power, whatever. So whatever difference is, I disagree that power corrupts, but I also agree that wisdom is even worse than power, and because there's prejudices you can have about insight and all that, all like. So, anyways, I can make another video about that bit. But with Phixeleaux, she's cunning because she knows how to use the things that she knows and very resourceful and forced to be reckoned with ways. This is something that Pale does all the time, but Pale Hatchet has able to do it all the time. But the way it's indifferent from her is that at least from the margin that Pale is insightful, and that Phixeleaux is still resourceful with what she knows, even if she's not insightful herself. She observes and acknowledges Pale in the same regard, that because Pale is insightful, and so you don't have to dismiss that too much from her. But even with Pale being her own extraordinary being, Phixeleaux is still pretty special. Another set of weaknesses and strengths. So like one weakness that Phixeleaux has is that she's often aloof. She's very confused a lot. Like Pale is often also always confused, but Phixeleaux will really be like what's going on, and she usually knows better what's happening in the world around them compared to Pale. But she'll like Phixeleaux will often be aloof and kind of confused, in a kind of cutesy way, but like she'll be aloof nonetheless. And then she's also going to be so like Pale will be contrary like me. I think Phixeleaux would be too straightforward. She would progress with things without slowing down, and not really ask for confirmation. Pale's really good at doing asking for confirmation, even if it slows things down. But Phixeleaux will never slow down, not even out of haste, but like to actually like to think that things are already as good as they are. So she's still a very positive person, which would be her strength at the point. She's actually she's not as optimistic as Pale, but she's very pragmatic. Like Phixeleaux is pragmatic. Like I don't know if I use that word right. I could look at it real quickly, but I think pragmatic means that you don't that you're a good combination of realistic but also truthful. You know, I guess something like that. So yeah. The last thing I'll say about Phixeleaux, to finish off the last part of the other video, is that Phixeleaux is someone who can and already does exist in real life. The kind of personality she has, it does exist in real life. You don't have those types of women and girls. They don't have to be intelligent. They don't have to be athletic. They don't have to be hardworking and responsible. They don't have to be loyal and submissive. However, that works for hypergamy, but and masculine frame, all that for other guys. Yeah. But you know. But it's still amazing that these high achiever characters I'm making so far, Pale Hatchet, Phixeleaux wise, that they're actually like ambitious and smart in their own way, and they don't have to be over the top like badass. As I just said before, they have twice as many weaknesses and strengths in order to write them well as a strategy. So they're going to be very interesting either way, but most particularly because of what they go through and their tragedies and their own conflicts. And the story won't have to Project Tether won't always be about conflict and storytelling, because there will be moments of mindfulness as well as being in the moment, I guess, and look towards the future, stuff like that. There'll be plenty of moments for that, but you know, it's amazing because they don't have to be. They never had to be the kind of character that you didn't need to expect, because they're relatable and unique in their own ways. But I designed Phixeleaux specifically to not only complement and contend with Pale in a good way, in a healthy way, which will have ups and downs, but I have a very big pet peeve with ups and downs as a discussed philosopher kind of thing, insightful, abstract thing. But that's a lot. That can be another video as well. But this Phixeleaux is designed specifically to undermine the ideas that X's Y's her ancestor had done with the chemical compound experiments and the inventions, which is to understand how upgrading, downgrading qualities, and transferring energies and all that works in favor of those things. So for Phixeleaux, it'd be more like she knows how energies can transfer in a spiritual way, knowing how that works, and that can be its own open-ended discussion. But Phixeleaux is just a really brilliant character. Just a very attractive girl character, but also not nearly as threatening as you would think. Like beautiful on both the outside and the inside. So same with Pale, beautiful on the outside and the inside. So they look a little too similar as female characters, but they're gonna be different. As I just said in the other part one, that the NTP would be Phixeleaux, the ESFJ would be Pale, and being ESFJ as a main character for Pale Hatchet as the main character of Project Tether, that kind of tells you a bit about how that would orient itself as the cheerleader aspect. And I think the ENTP was the visionary or something, or the guardian. I forget which one it was. She was the charismatic or brazen person. I forget. That'd be pretty cool for Phixeleaux. But yeah,